Hello everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to use one of these. If you ever want to do any sort of modeling in the field, you're going to need one of these for your notebook. Don't bring a calculator. Bring one of these, okay? It's just easier, faster, and if it's raining, it's not going to crap out on you. What is this? It's a protractor ruler. It goes by other names. Protractor. You know, engineers have their own version with the red numbers and lines. Don't get that one. It's not as easy as using the black against white pages, okay? Now, I am gonna do a little example here for you, but ignore this for now because I'm just gonna show you the parts of this because you need to know. All right, this one is 6 inches long. My scale is 1 to 10 essentially. Now, does it matter that this is in inches or meters or centimeters or millimeters? You can get them that way, but it doesn't really matter because this is just a unit, even though from here to here is an inch, okay? And degrees are degrees are degrees, okay? They're not gonna change no matter what system you use because they're based off a circle. And here's 1 to 50, so that means 1 inch here, 0 to 50. That would be your 5. It's just not written there. They skip the odd numbers. You can get these in where this is 10, and this would be a 20 scale or 30. I believe they have 42 as well. Not 42, but 40 as well. Okay. And Westcott is basically who makes most of these. Okay. You don't need to know about these that much. The distance between these lines, see, it'll tell you. This is 0, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4. This is 1 inch. I have used these, but we're not going to use them in this example. I want to keep this as simple as possible. Okay, now that's our dip. Let's get into how we use this. And we want to know our dip at 200 feet. Not our dip, our depth, sorry. Oh, and also, I always use pencil. I don't use pen or marker for several reasons. Number one, I don't care what any lawyer in your company says. They don't do any actual work. Fuck them. And pencil, well, if you're doing something like this, you want to be able to erase it because you could just have a finger twitch or confuse something in your head, and it's not that big of a deal. But if you screw up 10 times, you can't be making lines and scratch outs. It just looks stupid, and it's going to confuse you more. So, but I want depth at 200 feet along strike. Okay, that's what I'm solving for, but we're not going to do any actual math. We're just going to use this. And you could solve this graph, from a calculator if you want. Knock yourself out. It's going to be similar. Now, in geology, it is a science, so we do have to make predictive, accurate models from time to time, and this is one of those cases, usually to predict something like which way a bed goes, or a unit for hydrology, water purposes, for mineral purposes, things like this. This stuff does have use. It's not like we've never applied these concepts, hypotheses, theories to the field, because we have. This is also how we know that sediments are usually deposited pretty levelly. Okay, it's because this works. Stedin's laws apply when you're doing this, okay? If they were deposited some funky way, this would never work. All right, so this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to take it. Now, first, we're going to pretend this is a map view, planar view. All right, plan view. Sorry. So you don't need graph paper for this. My first line does not have to be exactly parallel to the edge of the paper. It does not matter. And lightly, you go like this. All right, now you don't have to do this. That's going to break. But this pencil is a 0.7 millimeter, not a 0.5. I should be using a 0.5, and I usually do, but I couldn't find one in the drawer. And I use these mechanical pencils because the width of the lead doesn't change. Okay, it's another reason why you don't want to use marker or pen. Most pens can be clunky too and give you way off reading. If you're off a degree or two, or in this case, if you're off a foot or two, no one's gonna care because it doesn't matter. Okay, So, I mean, you could do it on a calculator and get it down to 0.01 feet or meters or whatever, but nobody cares because it's not going to cost much more to go, you know, if you're drilling to find it and you hit it a foot or two sooner, no one's going to complain because, you know, you hit it sooner. And if you have to go a foot or two deeper, no one's going to complain because it's not going to be much more expensive, especially if you're going 200 feet down, okay? Now I want to do, and that's going to be my north. Yeah, that's going to be my north, which makes this, we'll just put it down here, that makes this my south. Now my west-east line has to be perpendicular to this. It doesn't have to be perpendicular to the edge of the page. So this is what I'm going to do, because here, and I'll get to the degrees when we do degrees, but this is your key point. That's why there's an arrow here. That's your center. You line, in this case, you line that up, make that line here, make sure it goes through the 15 here and the 90 here, and then you just draw your line lightly. So this is your west, this is your east. And these angles should all be 90 degrees, okay? So that's what we have right now in our plan view, our map view, okay? Now, strike and dip. This is why I prefer quadrant. This is why most of us prefer quadrant. Strike is always relative to north, so it's always going to be north, northwest, or northeast. That's only three it can be. Well, it could be west or east too. I'll cover that in a second. All right, dip is always going to be perpendicular to strike. So if I have a northwest strike, I cannot have a northwest dip or southeast dip. You'll see why. I'll go over that in a minute. It has to be either southwest or northeast. In this case, it's southwest. Remember, strike is just a connection of 2 points of equal elevation along some straight line, okay? Now, I know the earth is curved, but we don't usually do this over like 20-kilometer distances. It's usually like at the size of literally 6 inches or, 20 centimeters or something. Or maybe 1,000 feet, 300 meters. Scales generally aren't very bigger than that. So the curve of the earth doesn't matter. Okay. So how do I do this? Well, if I'm always from north, my strike, okay, and it's a northwest strike, so I have to go from north to west, from north to west. If I had a northeast strike, I'd be in this quadrant. So this tells me I'm in this quadrant. What else does that tell me? Well, that gives me 51 west, tells me how far to rotate this. Now, when you look at this, you see the lines here are closer together than here. Well, that's because this is not a half circle. It is, but they expanded the half circle. Why did they do that? So you can get more separation, more accuracy. Now, as you get closer to 90, that actually is just going to decrease. You can't, even if they made this almost flat and level, it still wouldn't be that far apart. And then these degrees would be like, so it's just not practical. This is a good scale. They figured this out over decades. So, if you were to combine it and make all these lines the same distance apart, this would be a half circle. And you see you have 0 to 90, 0 to 90, and just like you do in quadrant. All right, so that's what it makes better. And it doesn't matter what unit's on it, because there's no such thing as a unit on a degree. A degree is a degree. Yeah, this one's bottom oriented. It doesn't matter. You're smart enough to turn numbers upside down in your head, I think. So how do I get this strike? Well, center, remember center. And now I'm just going to rotate this to the west, because I'm from north to the west 51 degrees. So here I am, right here. Okay? That's close enough. Now this is my strike, so this needs to be a thick line. Yeah, right there. All right, through the center. Do everything through the center. I'm not going to take it that far to the southeast because I don't need to. There's nothing over there. This is a northwest strike. But this line continues that way and that way, okay? So I don't need to write my strike here because I have it. But if I really wanted to, I could write north 51 west, okay? Now my dip has to be perpendicular to this line. This is why I cannot have a northwest or a southeast dip. because that would make it exactly a long strike, and I can't have that. That would make it parallel, not perpendicular. My options, though, are northeast and southwest. Now, if my strike was north, I could have a west or an east dip, or if my strike was east-west, I could have a north or south dip. Those are the exceptions, okay? But rarely is anything due one way direction or another. So you always do, if it's right, this was north 51 east, I would do this. And I would have drawn my line this way, okay? Now we have a little bit of an issue here. This is a map plan view. Well, it's a piece of paper, it's 2 dimensions. How do I get that 3rd dimension, that depth? Well, this was my plane, okay, of my surface. I've made a line. Now we're going to make this line our surface and cut into the earth. We're going to flip it up. This is why I've shown you dipping beds before, where I've made a line in the middle and I've made a map view on one and a cross section on the other, because and then you flip it down and flip it up, because you're going to basically do that here, okay? So my unit's at the surface here, and I want to know the depth at 200 feet. And this is where this comes in. Doesn't matter if it's 200 feet, 200 meters. What would be a good scale for more accuracy? Well, I could do 400. Should I? I could make it, no, it's too far. I'm going to do, now this isn't going to be as accurate as it could be, but I'm going to do 1 inch to 100 feet. Okay, so I take it from my center, which is my origin, and it doesn't matter, I'm not talking in X, Y axis coordinates, but that's 200 feet, okay? All right, now if I had more paper, I could make 1 inch equal to 50 feet and make this, or I could just use this scale and make this, 50, 100, 200 feet. Problem with that is my dip, even though it's relatively shallow, it's still 19 degrees. You know what? Nah, let's do that. Let's make 1 inch, 50 feet. All right. So I make 1 inch, 50 feet. I can use this side or I can use the other side. It doesn't matter. So 4 inches. And see, this is the kind of stuff you got to think about when you're in the field. So 4 inches is 20, 200 feet. Okay. How do I know that? Because this is a 5. 1 inch is 50. So that would be 50 feet, 100 feet, 150, 200. Okay. And that's where I'm going to put my little hatch mark. Okay. And this is another reason why I use pencil. There, gone. That line is still there. Now I'm going to do my cross-section view, okay? I always do this from the origin. So I have 19 degrees southwest. 19 degrees is 19 degrees, okay? So you rotate it just like you did, but this becomes your baseline. North, south is no longer your baseline. This is, so you're going to do it from here, from your strike, because this is your ground level. So we have 19 degrees. Okay. And the good thing about this too is you can just draw a shorter line and then you can extend it. It's not the end of the world. People do this all the time. I mean, these things are only 6 inches. As long as the line does what it's supposed to do, you're good. Okay. I hope everything's been in view so far. So this is my 200 feet. So now I draw a line perpendicular to my surface, which is my strike, okay? Remember, line everything up, the 3, the 90, and the 15. And I just draw my line here. So this angle is 90 degrees. This angle is 19 degrees. And you don't care what this angle is. You can figure it out if you want. I mean, 180 minus 90 minus 19 gives you whatever. But you're not interested in that. You're interested in this. You want to know how long this line is in feet. Now, we're using 1 inch to 50 feet. So we're going to use this. So my depth is, what is that, 67 feet. So if I have a unit exposed at the surface here, and I want to extrapolate it based off this strike and dip, and we'll say we know there's no change, there's no syncline, there's no anticline, just at this scale, it's like a really big basin or something. So we use this, okay? We did this. That means at 200 feet from my origin, I should hit that exact same bed at 67 feet. Like I said, plus or minus a foot, nobody cares. All right, so 67-foot depth. That is one way you make predictive models in geology. All right, I think that's it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I hope you learned something. And I wanted to do this manually for you because in the field in a notebook, that's what you're going to be doing. All right, later.